The Nigerian stock market recorded an historic performance last year. We've been saying this, I tell you, because it rose by 50.03% after a decline the previous year. That growth was the best global performance among 93 markets tracked by Bloomberg. Unlike the past, when foreign investors used to drive the activities in the market, local investors took the lead last year, contributing significantly to the gains recorded. The Central Bank of Nigeria, in recent move to improve lending to the real sector, mopped up liquidity and regulate the economy to cut over 600 billion naira in cash reserve requirements, creating a chaotic scarcity of funds and shortage of foreign exchange in the economy. However, the scarcity of forex and the pent-up demand for dollar, financial experts have urged the federal government to attract more investors to the booming stock market so as to pump in more dollars into the economy and increase the country's foreign reserves. I have joining me now via phone to analyze the impact of foreign investors at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Supra Commercial Trust Limited, Mr. Charles Fakruha. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles, for your time.
Yes, Tolu, thank you for having me.
Yes, so I know you are so excited. I think a lot of money for the stockbrokers this time around, 50.03% on the high side. Tell us, how does this come to you?
Well, the Nigerian market has been very, very consistent. We've had our challenges here and there. But the regulators, the operators, the government, they've all done their part to ensure that we remain positive. And you can see, despite the challenges of last year, the market was adjudged as one of the best in the world. So you can see that it's as a result of hard work on the part of the operators, fair regulatory framework on the part of regulators, and of course, the government support, the government of the day. Despite the COVID-19 challenges, we saw that the government gave that market the needed support that the operators are using. So, and that was why we saw these returns for the year 2020.
Now, we see a lot of moves on the outer side of the economy, not really affecting the stock market, and a lot of challenges even with foreign investors. We see locals playing more in that exchange. What do you also make of this?
Yes, you know, over time, the foreign investors, if you look at the trends from after the financial meltdown of 2007, 2008, you see that the domestic investors were not that confident again. They left the market. And the foreign investors dominated. Of course, every country needs both domestic and foreign investors to be in the market. But it is always good where the domestic investors also have a major role to play. But over the years, we have seen that domestic investors were not playing that role. And that was why foreign investors were taking advantage. And you know, when the foreign investors, at times we don't blame them, they are what we call foreign portfolio investment. Once there are little issues and challenges in the Nigerian economy, of course, there will be capital outflow. They will sell off and leave. Now, it is the domestic investors that are expected to remain and sustain the market. So over time, domestic investors have now come to realize that they have a role to play. And of course, with the awareness campaign, investment education, we are seeing more and more of domestic investors being in the market. This is to show that there is a better confidence now from the side of domestic investors to continue to play that role in the market, because the capital market a whole is a channel for mobilizing long-term funds for industrial purposes. So if a company wants to expand their operation and bring people, the capital market is the place to be. And if you don't have enough of domestic investors in the market, that aspect of raising funds, finance for productive purposes from these companies will not be achieved. So we are happy that we are seeing more and more of domestic investors in the market. The foreign investors too are also, despite our economic challenges, despite our macroeconomic issues, we are saying that foreign investors are also now coming and doing what they're trying to do. But you must also realize that capital will only flow to where it will get a better return.
True.
They are now saying that they are getting a better return from the Nigerian market. So why not take advantage of that market, even though it's an emerging market or a developed market, they can get returns better than we have seen in developed markets. So that's why we also that the foreign investors are still coming to the Nigerian market. But more still needs to be done.
Before I let you go, Mr. Fakoga, any effect of scarcity of forex and also the pent-up demand for dollar, is that having any effect on trading at all?
Yes, of course. You know that the Nigerian economy, because we are a monoproduct economy, is dollarized. So, and when we have less dollars coming to our market and to our economy in terms of the sale of crude oil, there will be a challenge in accessing of forex, and that will pose a problem. However, with the capital, the processes will be made so simple that foreign investors, wherever they are, can bring in their own dollar to the Nigerian capital market, and we'll see an improvement. Like we always tell our trainees, it is easier. You make the process so simple for foreign investors to come to the Nigerian market. Within 24 hours, you are prepared what they call the electronic certificate of capital importation. And once the foreign investor has that, CBN has a record, the issue of money laundering is controlled. Now, once the foreign investor do what we call a portfolio investment, because there's a difference between FPI and FPI. However, we are looking at portfolio FPI. By the time the foreign investor, when they invest in any company in the Nigerian market, and there is a dividend, of course, it will be easier for the foreign investors to get their money credited to their account because of that certificate of capital importation. And this process is made so seamless, and that seems to encourage more and more of these foreign investors. However, we are saying the Nigerian capital market, the stock exchange, it is foreign portfolio investment. Then indirectly, we are also doing foreign direct investment, because if as an investor in overseas clients, you are able to in a company in Nigeria, and you take up so many percentage of that company, and you get involved in the management of that. Like, for example, let's take Anytime now. Anytime is somewhere overseas, that they have foreign interest in Nigerian breweries. That means they are going to be involved in all the operations of Nigerian breweries, the infrastructure there, the training of the manpower, and you will see technology transfer from these overseas companies to the Nigerian subsidiary. So for us, that is an example of a foreign direct investment. And when there are issues, it's not easy for foreign direct investment to just sell off and leave the country. So most economies prefer foreign direct investment to grow the economy. However, foreign portfolio investment will also increase capacity, because if we have foreign investors taking advantage of our market, investing in our IPO, the local manufacturers or local entrepreneurs are able to raise enough funds to expand their operation. And once they expand their operation, they'll be able to employ more people, and we will see the economy improving and reduction of unemployment. So
all right.
It is very, very important that both foreign investors and domestic investors have a major role to play in ensuring that the economy of the nation begins to prosper.
Well put out there. I must thank you very much, Chief Executive Officer of Supra Commercial Trust Limited, Mr. Charles Fakoda there, speaking to us on the performance of the Nigerian stock market. Thank you very much for your time on the show.
Thank you for having me, Tolu.